Welcome to a moment of significance. Another episode to a moment of significance. This is the podcast where we uncover the stories and the struggles and the strategies of extraordinary leaders. These leaders understand that true success is not just about what you achieve. It's actually about the significance that we create and the legacy that we leave behind. I'm your host, Myburgh, partner at Steyn, Rossouw & Associates, business developer. I'm a certified coach, and I've been in the game for over 25 years, and I've worked with hundreds of companies, hundreds of consultants to improve results through people. Let me ask you this. If your title disappeared tomorrow, who would still choose to follow you and why? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the effects that almost every organization that I've worked with in the last 25 years has experienced, and they call this the accidental manager problem. We have a tendency of promoting great performers, don't we? We expect them to lead. And then we get surprised when things don't go exactly the way we like. Have you ever been promoted into leadership and thought, no one actually prepared me for this? Then this episode might just be for you, so stay tuned. Let's get started with the truth. How many managers don't even choose management? Management actually chooses them. You're really excellent at your job. You work hard, you put in the hours, you do the effort, you deliver the results. And then one day someone says to you, hey, congratulations, you're now the team leader. Sounds great, right? And so you discover that leading people actually requires a completely different skill set to the toolbox that you're already familiar with. You've gone from measuring, or being measured at least, what you do. And now you're being measured by what others do. That's a massive psychological shift, both for us and our team. Massive psychological shift. And most organizations don't prepare us for it. Not from the lack of wanting to. It's just not being done the way we'd like to see it. And so here's what happens. We take a really great performer and we put them in charge. And unintentionally, we're actually setting them up directly for failure. Not only them, the organization and the team. This is what we call the accidental manager trap. And most of the time, it's an unintentional trap. Okay, nobody's out to get us, but it just happens. Here's the irony. These managers don't fail because they're incompetent. Heck, these guys have shown their competence time and time again. They really deliver. They fail because they were never effectively equipped. They were taught how to do the job, right? You're outstanding technicians. You do well at the work. But no one's shown us how to lead people. It's different. Let me share a story. I think some of you might even recognize this one. Years ago, working in a company with one of the greatest project managers and data analysts combined that I've ever met. And I've worked in the game a while, like I said. Let's call her Gail. Okay, sort of like the force in nature. Because when she walked into a room there, she was a force of nature. She consistently hit targets, never missed them, outperformed everybody, there first, out last. And she was definitely the go-to person when you wanted results. Absolutely. She's got a desk full of awards. She's even got the fancy and very, very attractive convertible Porsche parked outside in the front. I suppose the only nasty thing is she actually parked in the for customers only parking bay. She was that rude. But anyway, she got the job done. Really, really good. Naturally, when the position opened up, management promoted her to team manager. It wasn't even 3 months before Sarah started looking quite frustrated, a little bit flustered. The team struggling, office morale took a dive, not the scuba dive without tanks. Tanked. I witnessed a team going from a massive above 80% engagement rate, which is huge to brag about, by the way. It's not something that's commonly seen in today's businesses. And that flipped right down to 20%. So we went from an 80% engaged team performing really, really well to a team that was now 20% engaged, and everything was looking a little bit shaky. Why? What happened? Those very, very same skills that Gail had that made her a really, really, really good project manager and analyst were the exact same skills that were punishing her now as a leader. She's used to being in control, making all the decisions and moving really quickly, really quickly. Now she has to slow down. Where does that come from? She has to delegate. She even has to be a coach. And she has to trust others. Let's be fair. Which salesperson, good one, do you know that actually trusts others? I mean, isn't everybody in the sales team competing? Everybody's trying to outdo me. How am I going to trust? Right? Everybody wants to win. She wasn't failing because she was bad. She was outstanding, excellent technician. She was failing because she had never been shown the difference between doing and developing. That's a reality for thousands of managers out there. Did I say thousands? When I work with individuals, I often practice a technique where I ask them to imagine some nice topic, but imagine for a moment, if you wish, your funeral, your own funeral. You're outside your body, you're in a tree, you're a bird. You're looking down at your funeral, sort of positions or seeing what's going on there. And you're seeing the people around you. What are they saying? What do they have to say about you? What does your epitaph read? Let me ask you this question. If your team could anonymously describe what it feels like to be led by you in just one word, what word would you hope to see? What word are you afraid might show up? What will they be saying about you? The first step is mindset recalibration. Let's shift the mind. Here's the flip. We have to move from thinking like a performer to thinking like a people builder. That's the switch. We're no longer paid for what we do. Now we're paid for what our team becomes. Big shift. It's a hard pill to swallow, especially for those high-scoring dominance people like myself. If you're using the DISC behavioral model, for example, we don't like to let go of control. We find it unnatural to relinquish control. But here's the kicker. Is leadership about control? No. Or is it about creating an environment where people can actually do their best work without you needing to stand over them? Now, I'm not suggesting that you're not around them and supporting them. No. I'm just suggesting that you might not want to be standing over them. It's extremely uncomfortable. If that's ever happened to you, you might know what I'm talking about. There's a really great Zig Ziglar quote, or principle at least, and it goes something like this. You can have everything that you want in life, just as long as you help enough other people get what they want. Obviously comes with a couple of caveats. We're looking to make sure that everybody involved is a winner. So we're not here to help anybody get rich. Okay, that doesn't improve everybody's life. So you can have everything in life that you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. That's leadership in a single sentence, in my humble opinion. I'd love you to really think about that over a little morning coffee. I want you to ask yourself, what am I doing with those people that God has placed in front of me? Leadership is not a title. Great book, Lead Without a Title. Great book, check it out. Leadership is a service. It's a responsibility. It's influence through example, not instruction. At Steyn, Rossouw and Associates, we've developed the Intentional Leader program. It bridges this exact specific gap. I'm going to share just four practical tools that we teach in the program. The first one is the performance formula. And in my opinion, once again, I think this is probably one of the most